I really meant what I said. That was incredible. You guys were so well coordinated. You really made me proud.
Thank you.
And you deserve to be here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So guys, again, well done. Would you just give us a 1-minute elevator pitch?
Sure, I can speak on behalf of my team. So for our activation stand, the approach we were going for is just really selling an experience more than selling a product or a brand. And that's why we did certain elements what we did. We got the outfits so that we could really resonate with what flying is, as well as speaking to the clients in a way that you would find generally on an airline, right? And we also had our selfie booth that allowed the clients to be in front of Egypt or in front of Paris, because we did our research quite properly, and we know that Turkish Airlines do take customers to those specific destinations. We also wanted to make sure that our stand is neat and that it really envisions what Capitec looks like inside. And for that reason, our approach was very much well-rounded around those aspects.
It showed.
Thank you.
There was a good energy in this activation, and I must say, for a minute there, I did forget that I was working, because I was imagining being in Paris. Or
We were dancing.
It was quite good. Good choices in terms of the experience, because you can deliver the content and deliver what is required, but do it so in a way that inspires the customer who is probably walking past, going to run some errands, you know, so they're busy. People go to malls to do work. And so for them to stop and engage is because there was some good energy there. And I must say, I also felt it. It was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, also what I was really impressed with, because it's all about the customer at the end of the day,
It is.
is how you guys were interacting with the customers,
Yeah.
whether in vernac or English. I mean, I saw you guys at some points hugging some of the customers, you know, not only taking photos, and I just thought that was wonderful. Usually in a mall, you don't see that much traffic,
Yeah.
you know, especially that time of the day. And I was really impressed by the fact that people were so drawn towards you. And traveling is not something a lot of people get to do.
Of course.
And the fact that people were so interested and could relate to what you guys were presenting was so impressive. Really, really stellar job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to commend you on the fact that every one of you was hustling.
Thank you.
I particularly noted that there wasn't one person in your team who was static at any given time. Every single one of you was working and working really hard to bring the activation to life, to draw customers to your stand, and to bring that experience that you've just pitched to us. So, well done.
Thank you so much.
You know that I'm not easily impressed. But I will say this. You did very well. Thank you.
Odette. Thank you.
So as usual, there's always something to improve on. And I must say that you had some really good elements that you brought into this activation. I do think that from a sound point of view, great idea of the voiceover, as well as obviously the mnemonic for flying and for airlines. But you almost needed to find it because it was so soft. Was there any consideration around getting a bigger speaker? Or?
One of the things that when we spoke, sorry, Ken. Thank you. One of the things that when we spoke to the mall manager is she said she didn't want loud music, and that often draws people away. So we put the noise level only once you got into the activation could you hear it and experience it.
Yes.
So we had to keep it at that level as per the advice of the mall manager.
Agreed.
Okay, so strategic decision.
Yes.
Very well planned in terms of the parameters of what you had to work with.
Yes.
Understandable.
I also want to say, you know, congratulations to the team leader. There was a strong, cohesive effort. It was very clear that everybody knew what they were doing. It was very clear who was the leader. And the energy was really impressive. And I just want to say, keep it going.
Portia, I really do mean this. You actually made me slightly emotional. You coming out of your shell, really being bold, leading your group so well. You were just in it. You know, many a times in this competition, we weren't so sure about you, and you came through full force, gave your 100%, really reached your full potential. So proud of you. I mean, you were smiling. You're still smiling now, right? So proud of you. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Just regarding some of the strategic elements and the creative elements, who was responsible for, or who came up with the dance movement? I noted that you had some stands for your collateral, the brochures and the pamphlets and that kind of thing. Talk us through some of the creativity and the strategic decisions that were taken to help you guys deliver an activation to the standard that you did. Because not all of those things were given to you or briefed to you.
Yes.
So, Portia, let's start with you.
So if I can take it from the choreography for our airline dance, Kitty worked on that, and she really thought that this will elevate our activation and keep it more engaging. And that is why all of us really just jumped on board to learn the dance and just really give everyone that experience. In terms of the stands for the brochures, I think it was like a team effort, but mostly Nkani said that, guys, we can't leave our brochures just lying on the desks.
Good call.
So, yeah, I think mostly it was a team effort, yeah.
There was obviously some writing. I mean, Capitec. That was so cute.
Really Sylvester style, right?
Totally.
We loved it.
It was quite a good decision because it really helped to drive that energy, and that was quite helpful. We also noticed that you had the cooler bags at the back, and obviously there was sort of hidden at the back and with pamphlets and stuff in.
Yes.
What was the thinking there?
So basically, when you are doing more activations, you don't want to give clients or customers chunks of this information. So I was like, team, this is a good idea. We already have the cooler bags, so let's just place the brochures, all the flyers inside so that they can't even throw it away, because the customer will just literally just throw it away on his way, on our way, at a closest bit. But now this is much more efficient and much more easier, so they can be able to read more at home.
Another good call. So I've heard that Kitty contributed, I've heard Nkanya, you contributed, Portia, you obviously led the team and you did your bit. I've heard nothing about Chase and Tennille. What have you contributed to this challenge?
We were responsible for the outfits. Chase and I got the outfits, we got the stands, we went and looked for stores to buy the stands. We had them made up. I even did the selfie board myself. I had to cut it out and all
That was very effective, that was great.
Yes, I did that, and we contributed towards Chase did the editing of the music. He put the whole thing together, and he did the graphic elements on the selfie board as well.
And
That's good.
Fantastic.
thank you.
That's good. Last week we spoke about the fact that every single person needs to be able to bring their own energy to the party, and you guys have done that phenomenally well, because you can hear that every single person had a role, and they had a chunky role. So it wasn't just, I arrived and switched on the lights, you know, and that was good.
Absolutely. It was that being able to collaborate so seamlessly actually was amazing. But at the same time, if I had to critique, I'm sorry, if I did have to give you one critique, was just the fact that, we would have liked to see 25% off, 25% off, 25%, just to sell that a lot more, just to draw people even more. But listen, you did a great job with everything else, and you did communicate that very well, which I did, yes.
I think what really came through strong is that good leadership, good teamwork, a humble attitude in terms of taking direction, and true collaboration affects the output. When all of those things work in sync, then the output is great. And we've seen it through the weeks, right?
Yes.
When there's been either poor leadership, poor team dynamic, it affected the output. A hearty congratulations to you, Portia. I called you out a number of times during this competition for being possibly invisible. You stood up and you led, and your colleagues or your fellow competitors or your team members, however you'd like to address them, they followed. So well done on your leadership.
Thank you.
And well done to each and every one of you for your contribution, because everything that you called out as something that you contributed was executed well. The dance was done well, the collateral was well packaged, so a good spot on your behalf, Kani, for making sure that it is presented properly. Good job on thinking out of the box in terms of the selfie cutout and for the engagement with everybody, and for getting the costumes and making sure that the music and everything matched the overall engagement output that you hoped to achieve and the experience that you hoped to achieve with the people you engaged with. Like I said, I am not easily impressed, but this was a job well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I must say this one last thing. In fact, Nandi and I were reminiscing about our days of doing promotions. All of us have had to stand in front of customers to try to sell a pot, a car, or whatever it is. And it's not easy, you know, to work in an 8-hour shift smiling through. And I think that you guys did a phenomenal job in terms of the energy. And I think what really helped that was the fact that it was an enjoyable activation.
Yes.
Because it wasn't, so you could actually bring yourself into that. And I think if one does work and puts a bit of joy in what they do, it'll be much easier for it to come through. Because it's not easy standing in a mall trying to get people to take a pamphlet. And in fact, most people are rude. And that's an amazing learning for us all. We must try to put what we love in the work so that it can be more enjoyable. You did a good job on that.
So like we said earlier, at this stage of the competition, it's the finer details that will separate the winners from the losers. Do you believe that you did enough this week? We've commended you, we've said it was great, but do you think that there was still something else or something more that you could have brought to the table to deliver an outstanding, not just good, product?
I think there's always room for improvement, but I think we did great.
Yeah.
I think we exceeded the expectations and we brought something different to the table.
Yes.
But what went wrong, or what would you say are those areas that you think you can improve on, is what I'm interested in learning.
One thing I would actually point out is when you have planned a mall activation, some of the missing elements to it are not actually coming through at D-Day. Then now we have to fall short on plan B. You have to have your contingency plans coming through. So we had like a bit of a difficulty with the photo booth concept, but at the very end, because as a strong team, as our judge said, that we have to be happy, because the very first time when we are all happy, we are able to deliver and come up with something that could actually work in that specific mall activation strategy.
Yes.
I honestly believe that there's work that needs to be done before the day of presentation or the day of activation. And I think at this time of the game and in this competition, it's time that the work that's done before those days improves. Because we can come and sell an amazing idea, an amazing project. But if the work that comes to that day is not put together properly, we'll end up with situations where on the day it's a bit shaky. I'd like us to move forward and start strong instead of having to patch through as we go on the actual day.
That's good.
That's good. Good learnings. I think that one thing you probably could have done was had 2 of those selfie cutouts, because it did look a little bit chaotic when you had people wanting to take a picture and another team member with a group of people wanting to take a picture.
Yeah.
So next time, think about that. If you're all hustling and you're all bringing people to the stand, are you all able to deliver the experience or not? Or are you dependent on one little prop or one little
Can I
thing?
just add something? Because of our budget, we had to cut down on certain things. Trace and I organized that we got the outfits for free. We negotiated that way. So the only thing was our transport, and we had to cut costs. That's why we only had 1 selfie board. Originally, we wanted 2. Because of the pictures, then we decided, okay, the one will be We'll have to do it.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
There's always a budget.
Yeah, there's
we
always
really
budget.
had to.
Always make a plan.
Had to work with what we had.
Because even when we went to go printing, we first went to Postnet. Postnet, they couldn't actually do the A1s. We had to go to the next stop until we found Copy Express. And that's also the charges to Uber and to go there and the expenses. But we made sure that at least we actually have a plan B or plan C to fall to.
Always communicated really well. So when Portia and Kanye were doing the posters and Tennille and I were going to do the costumes, we were constantly video calling. Do you think these costumes are looking great? Do you think the poster's working? And just always keeping each other in the loop.
Well, overall, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Job well done. Remember, this is a competition. And whilst you all sing each other's praises, you are still heavily competing for that opportunity for yourself. And keep it up, but keep that in mind.
Thanks.
I see the next brand ambassador in all of you. The potential. I guess we'll have to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.